I greet you, my leader. My name is Prince Sunday Namani.
And where are you calling from?
From Kano.
Namani, where are you calling from?
I am calling you from United Arab Emirates.
UAE.
Precisely.
UAE. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
My first question is this. As in Biafra land, I can understand that we have a lot of different tribes and different languages.
Yes.
I want to know, are we going to have a general language that it must be composed that everybody will learn? Because if I may say, in Ghana, let me use Ghana as an example. I stand to be corrected, if not so. There's a tribe and the different languages in Ghana. But in Ghana, there's a language, general language that they can speak. Everybody, a foreigner will not know. But as long as you're a Ghanaian, you understand what they're saying. So are we going to have a general language that will bind the whole Biafran? Even in school, it will be taught in our schools. That is number one question.
And the answer to that is yes. The answer to that is yes. There's going to be a lingua franca developed. But remember that Biafra land will be a confederation. And those confederating units will also have the right to secede, to leave Biafra should they wish to do so. Because we're not going to nobody's holding anybody hostage or prisoner. If tomorrow morning Izon wants to be free and want to have their own independence, all well and good, we will all attend and celebrate and drink and dance and eat with them. That's how it's going to be. The same way it is in our villages. When your village divides and want to be autonomous from from yourselves, then everybody is happy. We go, we celebrate, we have fun. It's as simple as that. So if we have a Biafra that after 25 years remains intact and nobody wants to leave, then a lingua franca will be worked upon and developed that every child will then have to study in school. That becomes the lingua franca, and that lingua franca will contain traces or elements of every indigenous dialect and language we have in Biafra land. It will not be one dominant language. It will have to, incorporate or encompass each and every language we have in Biafra land. It's as simple as that. And that will be done. But say we have a Biafra and after 20-25 years people want to be on their own, then people will now have, let's say for instance in Igbo nation, the lingua franca will be Igbo. In Shekiri nation, the lingua franca will be Shekiri language. In Urobo there's something, in Isoko there's something. Should they wish to go their separate ways? But if we remain as one Biafra, then a lingua franca that will encompass everybody will become very, very necessary and absolutely critical and vital that we develop and disseminate it. Yes.
Okay, sir.
We have a caller on the line. I presume is an evangelist, if I'm not mistaken. Another woman evangelist. Please tell me where you come from, please. Your name and where you come from.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
I am evangelist Obiani Joara.
Yes.
I'm from Oga, under Club Anambra State.
Thank you very much.
But I'm calling from UK.
From the UK. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. God bless you, sir. I called you, the lion himself, or Amadika the second.
Thank you.
May God strengthen you and give you more guide you and protect you.
Yes, sir.
Protect your family in Jesus' name.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, I have 2 questions to ask, please,
yes.
And 1 contribution.
Yes.
The first question I want to ask is that after what we are passing through on Fulani's hands in Biafra land,
yes.
When we restore Biafra, can there be any mosque in Biafra land?
Yes, there will be mosques because there will be freedom of religion. People are free to worship anything they want to worship, and as long as what you're building is compliant with the town planning. The town planning division will determine if what you're building is compliant. That is number 1. But number 2 is that nobody will make noise by 5 o'clock in the morning when people are sleeping. All that noise people make, they bring out their speakers outside and be shouting and making noise. That won't happen. There will be no noise pollution in Biafra land. So they will look for a way to call their faithful to prayers in the morning. We're not going to stop anybody from worshiping whoever they want to worship. That is between that person and his God or her God, as the case may be. But one thing we are going to say, there will be no noise pollution in Biafra land. It will not happen, and any construction or any building will have to be compliant with what the town planning committee says. Those are, if you're coming as a Muslim into our land, You must obey our rules. The same way that if you go to USA, you obey their rules. If you go to the UK, you obey their rules. You come into Biafra land, you will obey our rules. I can't go to Saudi Arabia and start building a monumental cathedral, like trying to replicate St. Paul's Basilica in Riyadh. I won't be allowed to do it. So in Biafra land, of course, you have your mosque, but it has to be compliant with the rules and the regulation of the planning committee. As simple as that.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. And the second one I want to ask again, I'm very sorry. The second one I want to ask again, because where I was working before at House of Fraser, right?
Yes.
There are some Caribbean people that was working with me then.
Yes.
So in that sense, they was asking me, because I remember when I was listening to Radio Biafra, so the word was saying that the question came up. So it was saying about DNA, about those people, those Caribbean people who, So, but my question comes that, what about those people who didn't, maybe they are just convinced that from Biafra land, but their DNA, or maybe they don't know where they come from, any family or what. So can they still come with us?
Yes, they can. Anybody in the Americas and you're black. We know there are a lot of Oduduwa people who are in Brazil and in Argentina, and I'm sure that Oduduwa Republic will absorb them back, will take them back. But we know our people who are in Haiti, people who are in Jamaica. After all, in Jamaica, they use the word moa, which means me. That's what they say in Jamaica till tomorrow morning. So there are aspects of Igbo language, even in Jamaican language itself. Every black American, regardless of where your ancestors were taken from, everybody, if you wish to become a Biafran, you're more than welcome to do so. We'll give you citizenship, and they will have right of entry into Biafra land anytime, any day, anywhere. I know our people are when people talk about land and the space to absorb every black American who may want to come back to Biafra land, what I'm going to say to them is this: we do have enough land. If you look at the landmass all the way from Ondo to Bakassi, from west to east or from east to west, from Ambazonia. Let me not use the word Bakassi. From Ambazonia all the way to Ondo State, and you check it from Ajokuta all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. We have enough land, and our buildings and our construction is going to be so magnificent that we are going to depend a lot on high-rise building, both for habitation and for work. So we are going to have enough land left. We are not going to go back to the old ways of building bungalows all over the place, consuming land for no reason. We are going to build tall, relevant, modern high-rise blocks to house our people. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be a very modern economy that the whole world is going to be very proud of. And we can welcome each and every one of them. They are free to come to Biafra land. Yes. I have a caller on the line, presumably from the UK. Your name, please, and exactly where you are.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, please.
Yes, my name is Dadamo Ifani Emebo, and I'm calling from UK.
Please raise your voice. Your voice is very, very low. Please raise your voice if you want to speak to us. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Dadabo Ifani Emebo.
Yes.
I'm from Obiaruko, Okwani in Biafra land.
Okwani, thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
My question is that, in view of the high environmental degradation in Biafra land,
yes,
what is the plan? How are we going to upgrade our environment? Because when you come abroad here, especially in the UK where I reside, the environment is just impeccable. You see, and that is one of the things that attracts people when you come here. You see, that's one of the things that attracts people when, so like go to Aba now in Biafra land. It's an eyesore. It's a complete dustbin. Yes. What plans do we have to bring our country, our state to that impeccable condition, the environmental policy? Because here, everything is driven by the government. There are laws when you build your house. There are laws about your external, your field, how you do your gardening, So, what plans do we have You see, because everybody is that, there is no plan. You just build your houses, no kind of concentration to the environment. Our green, no, there is no greenery. It's like a concrete jungle. You see, what plans do we have?
I will tell you exactly the plans we have. And I will answer your question this way because this was exactly what we told or what I explained to people about the abandoned property in Iguacha, and I want to use as an example. I said that everything you're looking at today in most of our urban areas, most of the junk you're looking at today will be knocked down and rebuilt from scratch. Our cities will be knocked down and rebuilt from scratch. And we have an army of graduates of town planning, graduates of water resources management, graduates of all manner of discipline that has to do with uplifting the quality of life that we lead on a daily basis. Understand this very well. Now listen. In Biafra land, we are going to build a sewage system. Not soak away. Not when you build house, you go to behind the house and you dig a hole and all the gray water, as they call it, will be going in there and percolating into the water table, contaminating it and making all of us sick. No. We are going to have a proper sewage system. We are going to have a system of drainage and canal system linking everywhere in Biafra land together the same way you have it in the UK. If you go to the UK, you see a canal system. Every developed or advanced society has one. We are going to clean up all the mess in Ogoni land, in all the oil producing areas. We are going to meticulously clean them. And how are we going to do it? We will excavate the earth, the contaminated earth. We will go to a treatment plant, we will treat the soil and the sand, and then we'll bring it back. That is how it is done everywhere. If you go to a brownfield site in the UK, before they build any house there, or should I say a set of houses there, they first of all treat that very land. That is what we are going to do. Because if we don't treat it, most of the diseases that we don't know about that we are dying from today in Biafra land is as a result of the pathogens in the oil, as a result of the processed oil, so to speak, that we have in our land. When you go to the farm and our mothers step on it, they get sick. Some of these things are carcinogenic. But people don't know these things. And once that starts happening, people will say, oh, it's their neighbor that is holding them. No, it is as a result. These are the byproducts of oil exploration. These are highly dangerous, toxic substances that people are not aware of because of the very deplorable state of education and public awareness that we have. So let me make it very clear. If you want to know what Biafra would look like, go to a typical village that is untainted. You will see how we sweep it, how we clean it every blessed morning. That gives you an idea as to how we are going to live in the new land of Biafra. All these concrete urban jungles, rubbish, it won't exist in our land. It will never ever exist. We are going to be scrupulously clean and tidy. In fact, I will give you an example. I don't know if you've been to Singapore before. Go to Singapore and see what it looks like. That is exactly, Biafra will be better than Singapore in terms of cleanliness and tidiness. Thank you very much.
I'm dreaming.
That's how it's going to be. There is, of course, those who understand the way we operate will always tell you this. Anything we say we are going to do, we do it. Biafra land is not going to be free to become like another useless black African country. Never. We are not struggling to become free from the zoo to go around and become like the zoo. That is why the way we reason is very, very important. If we are going to stay in a Biafra where people listen to rubbish, where people gravitate towards gossip, you are going to have dictators. People will steal your money and they will dump it abroad. You will do nothing about it. But if you're focused on your civics, if you're concerned about the welfare of your people, about how clean the environment is, then Biafra will be heaven, as we had always intended. This one says here, good morning, my leader. Please, how are we going to put an end to ritual killings and diabolism in our land? When Biafra is restored, there will be none. All that nonsense will be shut down. All those useless shrines will be shut down. All those garbage won't exist anymore in the new Biafra. People will be too busy anyway building Biafra, because we are going to build Biafra morning, noon, and night for 75 years. There will be construction going on in Biafra land 24 hours. You see bridges and roads, we'll build them 24. When night comes, we'll put on floodlight. We'll be building and constructing. Now, let me tell you something. We are going to have series of canals. Go and Google the meaning of a canal. Go and Google it. We are going to have a sewage system that the eyes cannot see. We are going to build underground water treatment plants. These are heavy capital infrastructure. We are going to build tram lines. We are going to build railway lines using steel from Ajokuta, not imported, using steel from Ajokuta, processed by our engineers. There will be so much work is untrue. There will be a grid system. Electricity will be 24 hours a day. We will be getting all these things that they promise you every year. They will put pole, one transformer. We will bring electric wire. Rubbish. We are going to build it every blessed day of our lives. And it is going to be a conduit system. You will not see any electric wire overhead. Everything has to be underground. We are going to make sure that we pipe gas to every home in Biafra land, in every village. There will be gas in every village. That's what we're going to use to cook. We will not be using firewood to cook anymore. So we know what we are doing. By the time we are finished, even Dibia that is doing ritual will be busy at work. When he finishes his day job, he'll be too tired to look for somebody to do rituals with. We know what we are doing. That I can assure you. And I don't want to reveal much because the zoo will copy it. The same way I told them about railway, and they went and started building railways everywhere, but not in the east. It was my idea. I gave it to them whilst I was in prison. I told them what to do in order to boost employment. I never knew they would go to China to go and collect loan to build railway. And I told them how they can fund the railway without any external borrowing. I gave them that idea when I was in Kuje. I gave it to them. They now went and built railways everywhere else, but not in Biafra land. And they will not come out and say openly, it was Nnamdi Kanu that gave us this idea to build all these railways. I gave it to them. I did. Zoological Republic. Somebody asked a question, but the name is not here, but I'll go on regardless. The person asked a question. He said, what will be... you said something that you said there'll be no kings. What will be the position of traditional rulers? What is the difference between kings and traditional rulers? The difference in Biafra land is going to be that the traditional rulers are going to be the custodians of our culture and our heritage. As simple as that. The duty of exercising political power will rest with elected officers because we are a republic. Forget all that nonsense that you have in the zoo. It is a republic, but you have the Sultan of Sokoto, you have all these people who are, nobody knows what it is. You don't know if it is a sultanate, you don't know if it's an emirate council, you don't know if it's a republic. Biafra will be a republic, and a republic means rule of the people, by the people and for the people. That's how it's going to be. All that anomaly we are going to do away with.